When we gonna get in, coach? Put me in, coach. Yo, coach, the first quarter's almost up. Coach, what you doing, bro? What you doing, bro? Bro, I brought the whole fam out there, my homies, bro. I didn't even get in the first half. We winning. Put me in the game, bro.
Win, lose, draw, have fun. Kanashiro, come on, man. Oh, my days. It's not looking good for Barou and Shido fans. Oh, my God. This is the worst chapter that could ever release for Barou and Shido fans right now. But I'll get into that later. It is that time of the week. It is time to talk about Blue Lock chapter 312. So we're finally here for the Under 20 World Cup. Chapter starts off with Isagi tying his shoelace, just focusing on the battle and telling himself that he's a machine that lives for goals. Still kind of crazy that he's still talking about himself as a machine. You know, hey, will we see it? The whole meme that everyone's talking about Isagi losing his humanity and renegating the Hunter parallels. We'll see. It's kind of funny that people are talking about it in that way, but still, we'll see what happens. And then we have the next page here, which is a double page spread, just looking at the entire stadium with Isagi saying, "I'm the tool that will make Japan the world's best." Now, it's kind of interesting here that he's saying that he'll make Japan the world's best instead of saying that himself will become the world's best. That was the whole thing that Ego was telling them not to care about Japan, just to care about their own journeys. So we'll see if there's something building up here with like Isagi's ego kind of being clouded, but I doubt it. But we'll see here because the wording of Isagi here is kind of strange. Next, we have the starting members of Japan, the starting 11. We have the goalkeeper, which is obviously Gagumaru. You know, makes sense. He's the best goalkeeper in the entire series. So yeah, makes sense that Gagumaru is the goalkeeper. And then obviously for the three center backs, we have the captain, which is Aiku, Aryu, and Nico, the Ubers trio. Really nice to see Nico here. He's a really underrated character, and I hope he has some really solid defensive performances in this arc. I think he's gonna cook. Also, as I expected, Nagi was not going into the Blue Lock side B. He's actually going to the stadium to watch the match, and he's just reminiscing, telling himself that he's no longer a part of Blue Lock. The same dialogue that he has been having to himself for like the past 2 months. Now, here's the moment that's actually the most controversial in this chapter, which are Hiyori and Chiguri's positions. We have Hiyori as the left back and we have Chiguri as the right back, which is kind of weird because Chiguri's entire development in the NEL was being on the left side of the field for his 44 Panther snipe, but right now here in the Under 20 World Cup, he is on the right side. So my theory with this is that Ego is intending for Chiguri and Hiyori to both be crossers, but I still think it's just weird overall. Like when I have this formation listed on the screen here, you can kind of see that like there's a potential for Hiyori to make like a long cross pass to Isagi or to Rin, but you know, I just feel like it's just not actually going to be executed properly because Hiyori's whole thing is that like he'll pass to whoever is in the best position. And you know, we thought that like in the Bastard Munchen versus PXG match that we would have moments of Hiyori making insane passes to Kaiser, but we never really got that. It was still just passes to Isagi the entire time, and I feel like that's going to be the same thing in the Under 20 World Cup arc. But you know, if Kaneshiro actually decides to have Hiyori commit to the things that he said, then we'll have big moments of Hiyori making insane passes to Rin. But again, I doubt it, which again is why that I feel like this formation kind of doesn't really make any sense. Now that foolishness aside, Nagi decides to lock in and says, "I'll go out and see something new." He's finally realizing that he was lame, gross, and pathetic, and that he wants to face a new version of himself. He speeds Bliss past his security, and he's searching for that heat again. It's kind of crazy that this whole Nagi development is kind of an innuendo for someone who's like addicted to drugs. Like that's low-key what Nagi's doing right now. He's like, I need that new high. Next for the midfielders, we have obviously Karasu and Rio. Makes the most sense. Not really much to say there. Then we have in this next page here with Nagi saying the reality is that no matter how much he tried to get hyped up with Rio, it just didn't work out, which is true. He's finally realizing that 2 + 2 = 4. And then we also have Bachori here in the midfield as well. And then we have the reveal of our two forwards, which is obviously Rin and Isagi. And then we also have one of the best moments in this chapter, honestly, I think, is this Nagi moment, him when he's appearing before Barasuta and he's saying to him that, do you still have a spot left for me because I want to become the world's best? And he says, I don't care if I even have to crush Blue Lock. And then we have the skull aura surrounding Nagi's face. So it's time, Demon home. He's going to be an antagonist. Finally, we are going to have Nagi be on his Kunigami arc and hopefully just better executed than Kunigami, because, you know, I kind of want to make a whole video just talking about how Kunigami as a character was just fumbled because he's not even starting. Like, what was the point of Kunigami coming back back and he's not even starting. Like, what was the point of this character? Nobody knows. Is Kunigami a striker or a glorified defender? Nobody knows. Like, he really has no purpose as an entire series. There is really no point in him coming back if he's just gonna sit on the bench and just watch the entire time, because really and truthfully, he doesn't really have a purpose being here. Like, when you think about it, and this is someone who loves Kunigami, I'm just like, why did you bring this character back if you're just not gonna do anything really with him? Like, he really just peaked in the first match against Barca. It's like, what are we doing, man? There's even more foolishness about this chapter I'm gonna get into, but yeah, it's really hyped that Nagi's back here and he's locked in. Honestly, I think it would be kind of insane for like Blue Lock to get to the England match. It's like getting really close. Blue Lock's looking like they're about to lose, and then Eagle has no choice but to sub Nagi into the match, and then he wins, and then Nagi becomes the new hero of Japan. That just sounds like peak. That sounds like absolute greatness. Tell me in the comments down below if you'll think I'm cooking with that, or that that's just a garbage theory. All right, so now that we have the 11 starting players for Japan confirmed, it is now time to talk about 2 players who are sitting on the bench and are getting slandered to no end. Yes, I'm talking about Barou, Shoei, and Shido Ryusei. It's over. It's actually so cooked. These two are just jokers. Now, Shido, I can kind of understand because he's going to be like a wild card to kind of shake things up, and we still have the whole gimmick about Shido not being able to link up with other Blue Lock players, even though I feel like at this point it's kind of stupid. Like, Hiyori should be able to link up with Shido. I'm gonna be blatantly honest. Like, he should be able to. Like, Hiyori has pretty similar abilities to Charles, so I feel like he should be able to link up with Shido. I feel like, you know, with Bachira's whole monster thing and being insane, that would kind of link up perfectly with Shido's personality. So I feel like that's kind of stupid as well. Like, even too, there are theories of Isagi having a chemical reaction with Shido, and I actually think that that would make sense because Shido's originally, his whole thing was about his spatial awareness being insanely good, but I feel like that's just gotten retconned or just kind of thrown to the side and just forgotten about. So again, we'll see what happens there. And then Barou just not starting feels kind of annoying, especially when we have like a lot of the starting 11 is members from the Ubers team, so they would blend perfectly with Barou. I mean, like, I get it. Like, if you just look at like this starting 11 from like a logical standpoint, it makes sense, like the players that were picked, but you also have to look at it from like the story perspective as well. All the development that Barou had in the NEL, and he's still in the same spot that he was in the under 20 arc. It just feels cringe. It just feels like the status quo of a lot of these characters has not really progressed, and that was my biggest issue with the end of the NEL when Rin and Isagi had to share the #1 spot. It really didn't feel like a lot of those dynamics really progressed, and it kind of just makes a lot of the NEL kind of feel kind of pointless because once again, a lot of character dynamics in Blue Lock have not changed since the NEL. So it's kind of just like, okay, I guess these characters got new abilities, but in terms of like character, they didn't really improve all that much in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, we'll see where that goes, but right now I'm kind of annoyed. Right now I'm kind of rolling my eyes. Very least, another good thing that came out of this chapter is we get the character designs for the Nigeria 11, and all of these guys look absolutely tough. I'm glad Kaneshiro did not go like the racism design, insanely big lips, the friggin' Mr. Popo lips, man. Like, I'm happy we don't have that, man. They look pretty good. Like, Onazi, like, he looks tough, man. He looks tough. I actually think that Blue Lock is gonna have like a run for their money. Like, I actually feel like Blue Lock is actually gonna get pressured. I was worried at first. Like, I was thinking like Nigeria was gonna get packed because, like, let's be honest, I think this match is gonna be like a glaze fest for Blue Lock to show off like all their training, but it seems like it's actually gonna be a close match. Like, it actually seems like it's gonna be pretty close. So let me know in the comments down below what you'll think the final scoreboard is gonna be. I think it's gonna be 2-1. I hope we don't have like a 3-2 again. Like, we've had that the entire NEL. I think 2-1 makes perfect sense. So we'll see how this plays out. And the last thing I'll say before ending off this video is that Slur Sagi fans just need to like grow up. Like, I'm already seeing people say, oh my gosh, get ready for Isagi. He's gonna say an insane slur to these guys. He's gonna say something racist. And it's just like, bro, that's not Isagi. That's mischaracterization. Yes, Isagi will probably say something crazy on the pitch. He always says something crazy on the pitch, but it's never like racist. So guys, what are we doing? Like, you know, people are still hellbent on that mistranslated fan translation moment of Isagi calling Barou the R word when actually Isagi just called Barou a donkey. And it's just like, we need to grow up. Like, it's been 2 or 3 years. Like, let's just move on. But otherwise, there's nothing really else too much to talk about this chapter. Interesting stuff. Kind of sucks for Barou and Shido fans. We're looking cooked, but maybe Barou and Shido will get like subbed in later on in this match. We'll see how things go. Again, I still feel like the pacing in this series is kind of too fast right now, but again, Nigeria 11, they got cool designs, so I'll take what I can get, and Nagi is going to be cooking again, so that's pretty much hype. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this chapter in the comments down below. Now, if you're someone that stuck around to the end of the video, video, the honey will be poured on you. If you want to talk to me about anime related topics, check out my Discord server and follow me on Twitter. Also consider becoming a channel member, another way to support me, and I support you back with shoutouts and videos, early access to new uploads, custom emotes, and members only content depending on what level of membership you decide to choose. On this channel, I discuss whether something deserves a W or an L, so if you're someone that enjoys content that keeps it real, consider subscribing to change this channel from local to global. Now, I gotta get back in the kitchen to cook. Peace.